say is driven by your listening. It analyzes everything 100% of the time, including how you respond to this video. Yes, every one of your actions is driven by your listening. One of the problems is it is driven simultaneously by your conscious, what you are aware of, and your subconscious, what you are not aware of. For example, can you remember an argument, then afterwards wondering, what were you arguing about? Because you didn't believe your argument anyway. You just jumped on the bandwagon in the heat of the moment. Yes, you know, you've had this experience. Listening is a huge topic, and I'm not going to try and cover everything about it in one video. In this video, I focus on listening as our driver because we are driven constantly by it. Every decision we make is a result of it. I want to push this point. Everything about you is driven by your listening. You never do anything that is not dictated by it. If you can't comprehend this, then you are probably having difficulty listening already. If you get to the end of the video, I trust you'll understand more about what I'm saying here. If you don't, tell me. As I said, our listening includes our conscious and subconscious. In other words, we aren't always aware of how our decisions are made up. In many situations, our actions are so fast that we have no idea where our responses came from. At times, we regret our actions driven by our subconscious, and often it is too late because we have already acted. You know what I mean. It just is, and you have no choice. How you listen is based on many factors. The good news is, when you become more effective in your listening, it becomes easier to correct in the moment. When I talk about listening, I am referring to external and internal stimuli because they both affect each other. External stimuli include what we hear, what we see, what we say, what we smell, what we touch, what we sense. Internal stimuli include what we hear, what we feel, what we intuit, what we know, and our values and beliefs. Every one of these can be in play when we consider listening. What is useful is we have the information which can help us understand much of what goes on, and I'll cover some of this throughout this video. Feedback, which I covered in the previous video, is part of this information. And listening to feedback is why I'm working hard to reduce the length of my videos. What can happen in communication and how is it affected by listening? Facebook is a great place to watch how conversations can go all over the place. I just looked, and this is one example I found. Someone says the only basis for my work is how much I earn. Someone read this and had a different opinion. They decide to challenge the other person's fixed view. Not share their view, but challenge the person saying it. Then someone comes in with a different view, and the first person feels the need to defend their view. Then someone else comes in and supports one of their views. Then each person begins to shower us with statements proving with evidence that their view is right. Now someone comes along and tries to be the mediator, while others the protector, like a parent. We suddenly have several people throwing comments backwards and forwards, trying to prove they are right or having nothing to do with the original post. Then someone decides to withdraw and does so by telling everybody else, using an amusing comment or throwing a tantrum, blaming everyone for their waste of time. Is this familiar with any of you? It happens a lot, and I'm sure you're also guilty of participating in such interactions at times. We all are. How about a simple sample such as you turn up at work and say, "Good morning!" in a bright, breezy manner as usual. Someone says, "What's good about it?" What you do next depends on the choices made through your listening. You have the opportunity to make or break at this moment. How often one hears a response of, "What's the matter with you?" You might want to consider something else as a response, because this will only fuel the fire. How the other person responds will depend on their listening. I can remember some responses from the past, such as, "What do you care?" or a long drawn-out explanation of their circumstances which makes you regret asking in the first place. Well, you get what I'm saying. This is why learning how we listen is so important. The more aware you become of your listening, the more effective you become with your actions and your responses. Keep this video short. I'll leave you now with some suggestions to help increase the consciousness of your listening. Pause. Depending on the state of affairs, take a pause, even in a live situation. Think about what has been said before reacting. This can be very useful for public speaking or a presentation. Pause gives you power. 2. Get clear on what they said or did. Make sure you have interpreted correctly, and if you are not sure, ask them what they meant or why they did something. 3. Apply the same to any reaction you get from your action or communication. 4. Write down actual situations so you understand more clearly what was going on. 5. Always test what you write using a grammar and spell checker. You'll be amazed what you can learn about your own words. 6. Keep a journal for future reference. That's a few ideas to help you become a more effective listener. You'll find lots more information on Google. There is so much benefit and advantage for people who learn about how they listen. Understand, all of this doesn't take long to develop. Your listening can quickly become more effective if you are prepared to apply a little constant effort, like doing 10 press-ups a day. Soon you'll be doing 15 and then 20 with ease. Developing your communication and especially listening skills takes minimal effort, which rapidly becomes a habit. Do watch out for my next 2 videos. You are number 1 in your life and you are always right. Bye for now.